Hi there. Welcome back to Talk Love with Joy. If you're new here, this is the space where we talk about love, healing, and building relationships that bring peace and fulfillment instead of pain and confusion. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever been with someone who seemed perfect on the outside, but emotionally, they just weren't there? You felt like you were talking to a wall, or worse, you started doubting yourself because no matter how much you gave, they just couldn't give the same back. That's what happens when someone is emotionally unavailable. And today, we're not only going to talk about what emotional availability looks like, but also why vulnerability is the secret ingredient that makes relationships thrive. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to spot true availability and learn how to open up without fear. Let's start with this. Emotional availability is more than just saying I love you or talking about feelings once in a while. It's about being present. It's about being able to connect deeply, share openly, and listen without shutting down. Think of it like this. When someone is emotionally available, they don't just hear you, they feel with you. They make space for your emotions, your struggles, and your joys. They don't run from intimacy. They lean into it. And here's the truth. Emotional availability is the foundation of a healthy, lasting relationship. Without it, you end up with a connection that looks good on the outside but feels empty on the inside. So, how do you know if someone, or even you, might be emotionally unavailable? Here are some common signs. 1. They avoid deep conversations or quickly change the subject when things get serious. 2. They distract themselves with work, social media, or constant busyness instead of being present. 3. They dismiss or minimize your feelings, maybe with jokes, sarcasm, or by saying, "You're too sensitive." 4. They never talk about their own emotions, leaving you to guess how they really feel. If you've experienced this, you know how frustrating it can be. It's like trying to pour water into a cup that has holes at the bottom. No matter how much you give, nothing really stays. Now, let's talk about vulnerability. Vulnerability is often seen as weakness, but it's actually one of the bravest things you can do in love. Why? Because being vulnerable means opening your heart without a guarantee. It means sharing your fears, your dreams, and your truth, knowing there's a risk of rejection or misunderstanding. But here's the magic. Vulnerability is what builds intimacy. It's what creates trust. When you allow yourself to be seen fully, you give the other person permission to do the same. Think about it. The strongest relationships aren't built on perfection. They're built on two people saying, "I'm not perfect, but I trust you enough to show you who I really am." Yes, vulnerability is scary, but without it, you'll only ever skim the surface of connection. So what does emotional availability look like in action? Here are some green flags to celebrate. 1. They share their inner world with you, not just facts but feelings. 2. They listen actively and ask questions because they genuinely care. They can sit with your emotions without trying to fix or dismiss them. 3. They admit when they're wrong and apologize sincerely. They're consistent. You don't feel like you're begging for scraps of attention. When you see these signs, that's not luck. That's emotional maturity. That's someone who's ready to build something real. Here's the part many people miss. You can't expect emotional availability from others if you're not practicing it yourself. So how do you become more emotionally available? Start small. Share one honest thought or feeling each day, even if it's uncomfortable. Practice active listening. When someone shares with you, don't just wait for your turn to speak. Really hear them. Learn to sit with emotions. Instead of numbing out with distractions, allow yourself to feel what you feel. Build self-awareness. Journaling, meditation, or even therapy can help you understand your own emotional patterns. Challenge the fear of rejection. Remember, vulnerability doesn't mean everyone will accept you, but it means you're showing up authentically, and that's powerful. Emotional availability is a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. Here's the truth, my dear. Love without emotional availability is like a house without walls. It simply won't hold. And vulnerability, that's the doorway to real intimacy. Without it, you'll always feel like something is missing. So my challenge for you today is this. Take one small step toward vulnerability. Share something real with someone you trust. Or, if you're noticing emotional unavailability in a partner, ask yourself if this is the kind of love you truly deserve. Now I want to hear from you. Do you find it easy to be emotionally vulnerable, or is it something you're still learning? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read your experiences. If this video spoke to you, please like, share, and subscribe to Talk Love with Joy for more real conversations about love, healing, and growth. And remember, true love isn't built on walls, it's built on doors. So be brave enough to open yours. This is Talk Love with Joy. I'll see you in the next video.